How to overcome lust. Before I start this video, I'd like to preface it by saying I don't care if you're a Christian, I don't care if you're a Buddhist, I don't care if you're an atheist, I don't care if you are or aren't any religion. Lust is something that affects all of us and that we'd all benefit from by overcoming. Now, what exactly is lust? Lust is a sinful longing, the inward sin that leads to a falling away from God. Now let's go back to that second part, the inward sin. What does inward sin exactly mean? Matthew chapter 5 verse 28. Anyone who even looks at a woman with lust in his eyes has already committed adultery in his heart. Okay, so what does that tell us? It tells us that you don't even have to physically go out and sleep with a woman you aren't married to or physically commit the sin of lust. Just by seeing, just by thinking, and just by having it in your heart and mind, you've already committed lust. That means that every time you go on Instagram, Twitter, Pornhub, Xhamster, Xvideos, the list goes on and on. Before you even started masturbating, it doesn't even have to be adultery like that. Before you even committed the act, just by liking that girl's Instagram picture, just by commenting, whatever it is, you've already added to the sin of lust. Well, what does that mean that you should do? What does that leave your options for? Well, either A, obviously, you could just keep scrolling. Don't follow accounts that obviously are putting out harmful content for your eyes. Don't listen to these things. Imagine as if like you just walked in on your grandma changing. Like you're gonna quickly turn away. You're gonna quickly look around, look the other way, because you don't want to see that. That's how you should treat everything that is sinful. Not even just lust. It could be like a video of someone getting hurt on the internet. Obviously, a little kid getting hit in the ankle by a scooter, that's funny. But you know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of dark videos online. There's a lot of things that are sinful in nature online. Well, you should treat those same videos, you should treat those same actions as if you just walked in on your grandma changing. Look away, quick, burn it out of your mind. Easier said than done. We are, again, put in a situation every single day, every second where, even the ads we get, even like a Burger King ad, it's gonna be some chick eating a burger, like going down on a burger. Even that is lustful in itself. Now, why is it even important for us not to lust? Well, we know, for one, it takes you farther away from God. But what if you don't believe in God? What if you don't care about being farther away from God? Well, one, you should. But two, even if you don't care about being farther away from God, indulging in lust will take you farther away from everything you want to do. It will take you farther away from your family. It will take you farther away from your career. And what it will bring you closer to is honestly just the devil and just wickedness and vile things, evil. Like that's what it's going to do. It's going to bring you closer to evil and it's going to bring you farther away from good, period. Now, just because you like to watch porn or whatever it is doesn't mean you're an evil person. But it means when you're doing the things you should be doing, whether it's reading the Bible or, just going on like a bike ride, whatever it is, you're less likely to be thinking about that bike ride, or you're less likely to be thinking about your work and the things that you have to be doing. And in the back of your mind, you're going to be thinking about, I really want to go home. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to indulge in this. There's a lot more lustful sins than just masturbating or watching porn or just adultery. There can be smoking. I know that is one that I'm particularly sinful of. But even just like lusting after money, that's a big one too. That's one that I'm definitely guilty of as well. Something that we have to keep in mind is these things that we're lusting after, these are worldly desires. They come from the world. They come from man. They don't come from God. God didn't create money. He may have created paper or trees or whatever you want to say, but he didn't create money. We created money. So when you're lusting after money or when you're going after whatever these worldly desires, God didn't put those things for you to chase after. The only thing that God wants you to lust after is God himself. The only thing that you should be lusting after in God's eyes is a relationship with him. That is the only lust that, in theory and practice, that you should have. Obviously, it doesn't work that way. Again, I'm very guilty of this. I'm not making this video to say that I don't lust. I'm better than you. This is what you should do. I'm making this video because I lust, and honestly, I'm just hoping you can help me out better. So we know what lust is. It's a sinful longing. We know why it's bad for us. It takes you farther away from God, or more simply, it just takes you farther away from the things that you actually want to do in life and you want to accomplish. Well, how do I stop it? How do I overcome lust? This is what Jesus has to say about that in Matthew chapter 5, verse 30. If thy right hand offends thee, cut it off and cast it from the body. For it is more profitable for you that a body part perish, and not that thy whole body shall be cast into hell. Basically, it's saying physically cut off parts of your body if they're causing you to sin, because it's better to lose an arm or a leg than it is for all of you to go into hell forever. Now, obviously, I mean, we live in 2023 or the future whenever you're watching this. We don't actually have to cut off our body parts. Obviously, nobody's telling you to cut off your hand and throw it away if it's causing you to masturbate. But what we should do is realize the things that we can actually cut away from us, or we can take out of our lives, whether that be a person, a relationship, like an app, Instagram, or even just your entire phone, or even like a place. That could be like the bar or whatever it is. The physical things that are actually causing us to sin and causing us to lust, the best thing that we can do and the most simple dry cut is just to get rid of it. And I know that's a simple answer. Well, yeah, if you want to stop lusting, delete the Lust app. And obviously it's harder than that in theory. I mean, you can always re-download Instagram. You can always whatever. But it really does start with just that physical action, just trying it once. You know, if whatever it is, if it's Instagram, you delete Instagram, you download it back, we can always delete it again. Even just taking that first step is a step into the right direction. Real quick, my phone died, and so I had to charge it and put it back on my kind of like tripod setup here. So if things look a little bit different, that's why. Okay. So taking a step into the right direction, again, obviously a step into the right direction is a good step. But I'd like to kind of circle back to, why do we even lust? Why do we even sin in the first place? Well, that's a very, very simple answer. Because of the devil, and just because of ourselves, because of our nature. And you know, everybody's seen movies like The Exorcist or Insidious or whatever it is, where an actual demon is like possessing somebody, and they're doing vile acts, they're doing whatever it is, they're causing harm to themselves and others. And I don't know about you, but I've never seen an evil spirit, I've never seen someone possessed per se. I've never seen the devil. But what I have seen, and what me and you see every single day, is I see the devil's acts. You know, we live in a very evil and vile world, unfortunately. It didn't used to always be that way, but through our own actions and through the acts of the devil, that is our reality. That's where we live, a very evil and vile world. And now I'm fortunate enough to live in a very nice place. I'm happy where I live. I live in a great neighborhood, a great country, you could argue, whatever it is, but obviously it's not everywhere. It's not everywhere is that the case. You know, look at places like Congo, or even back in like Israel, all the wars they're fighting, all the conflicts, all the bad things happening. All of that is caused by devil, is caused by evil. Even if we don't physically see someone possessed, they are being influenced. We are being influenced, even without our knowledge, by the devil. We're being influenced by evil. And so when I have a desire to lust, when I have a desire to even say masturbate, I physically tell myself, like, that is a temptation from the devil. That is the devil trying to make you do a sin to bring you farther away from God. Because every step you take away from God, or even just being entirely separate from God, that is a huge win for the devil. That is a huge win for evil. And that is why we live in a world that we live in today. That's why we have so many lustful desires, is because of the devil. Like, seriously. And again, I know some people might think this sounds crazy, or obviously like the devil's not real, ghosts aren't real, demons aren't real. Yes, I agree with you. I don't think like an actual demon from Supernatural is walking around. But I do think that people are tempted by the devil without their knowledge and fall for it every single day. And that is why we lust. That is why we are sinful in nature. It's because of our own acts and just actions that have happened through history, but those have all been just influenced by evil, by the devil. again, for me, for myself, whenever I feel the desire to lust or the desire to sin, I try to physically tell myself, like, this is an influence from the devil. And I encourage you to do the same thing. Because when you know that, when you think that, when you say that, it makes it like a lot more powerful. It makes your decision a lot easier. Do I want to follow along the path of the devil and fall into his trickery and go for his sinfulness? Or do I want to be with God and do what he says and do what the Bible says? And again, it's all of this stuff is easier said than done. But even just saying it in the first place, just knowing it in the first place, again, just taking that first step, even if you take 10 steps backwards after that, that first step was still a first step. And you know what happens at that first step? A second step, a third step, many more steps to follow. I encourage you, this is something, again, that I've been working on for myself, is instead of being on social media, instead of lusting after things that I know aren't good for myself, instead of doing acts that I know aren't positive, like literally every single time I try to go on social media, I try to stop myself the best I can. It doesn't always work. And instead of doing lustful, sinful acts, I either A, spend time with God and try to read my Bible, or B, instead of addicted to watching and consuming social media, I try to be the exact opposite, and I try to be addicted to making and producing social media and content. And when you have people, I'd say Gideon, whatever, his new name is a prime example of this. Okay, everybody know who Gideon is. 7 million subscribers, guys. I have like 40. I'm not complaining, I'm saying he has 7 million subs. Look at his count. Every single video deleted by Gideon, except for 2. And he's made a new account called Gideon, and all of his new content is literally dedicated to Christ and just dedicated to just spreading positivity and trying to get people on that same wavelength. It's such a huge leap to take. And I guarantee you that leap wasn't taken just on its own. There was many little steps to that. I'm sure he could tell you that himself. I'm sure it started with just thinking about God on his own time. I'm sure it was a bunch of little steps. You don't make a big plunge like that without first working your way up to it. So that's really what I just encourage you to do, is work your way up to being on a better, more, say, like godly Jesus's path, whatever you want to say. Just work your way up to it. And even if you fall back or fall into the temptations of the devil, it's okay. Just take that, learn from that, and the next time try to be stronger so it doesn't happen again. But yeah, this is my first full-length video, my first video ever talking about such a religious topic. A year ago, I probably would have found a video like this pretty corny, but you know, it's really just what we need. It's what the world needs more of, is just positivity in general and just people telling you how to do good from wrong. And so if you like this video, thank you. I don't know, do whatever you want. I'll probably make more videos like it. So if you like this video, keep an eye out. I'll make some more like it. But yeah, I appreciate y'all for watching this. Yeah. Thank you for watching, man. Have a great day. Peace.